People X Participation. Change that adds up.
Welcome to People X Participation, the podcast exploring how participation powers better decisions, stronger communities, and real-world decisions. In today's episode, we're thrilled to share something big, our recent collaboration with Vodafone Group. Together with 47 young people across the UK, we co-created a global youth safety charter to help shape online safety guidance for young people, by young people. But don't just take it from me. We've got two incredible guests here to tell the story. First up, joining us from Vodafone Group's human rights team, we have Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hi, lovely to join you today.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Have you had a good day so far?
Very good.
Good, lovely. And could you just tell us quickly what your job role is at Vodafone Group?
So I'm the head of digital regulation and human rights. I guess you want to know, what does that actually mean practically? So I have 4 areas which I look after. I also think I have one of the coolest jobs in Vodafone Group because I lead on topics that are very future facing and looking. So firstly, I have a team that look after future policy. So with new technology coming down the line, how do we work in a safe environment from a regulatory perspective? So working with policymakers. Secondly, I have an area which looks after the development of new products and services and ensuring that they meet current regulatory requirements. My third area is looking after the new technology coming in via satellites. So that's really kind of edge cutting and innovative and very, very exciting. And really important, and something I'm very passionate about, is our human rights program. So that's really ensuring that what we do is really putting people at the front and understanding the impact we have on people. So yeah, really cool area to work in.
Thank you so much for such a comprehensive overview. That is amazing and so exciting about the satellites. Oh gosh, if we have time, you'll have to let us know more, although it might be hush hush at the moment, I'm sure. So thank you for joining us, Kate. But like I said, we have 2 special guests with us today. And like everything, if we're going to do something for young people, we need to include them as well. So our second guest is none other than our brilliant Kaiden Walsh. Welcome, Kaiden. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
Why don't you give us a little bit of context about who you are? Because Kate's told us about who she is and her role. What do you get up to?
Although I don't have a official paid role, I am the advocate for Votes at 16, where I live. I'm also the co-chairperson of my local youth council, secretary of my local youth council, and also a volunteer at my local youth club.
Wow, that is so much. And you said no paid role, but I think the key word there is yet. No paid role yet. I'm sure there's one on the horizon for you very, very soon with everything that you get up to. So we've got our guests, we've introduced our guests, but let's start at the beginning. How did this all happen? So Kate, can you tell us about how this came about? What was Vodafone Group aiming to achieve, and why was Youth Voice essential to the process?
As I said in the beginning, part of my role is the human rights program. And of course, as part of that, young people are absolutely a core element of our human rights program. And at Vodafone, we're really conscious of the importance of connectivity and how that impacts us all in our everyday lives. And whilst we don't directly contract with young people, we all know that they use our products and services via phones every day. And historically, the focus has been on parental education and what should parents do and how do we communicate with parents. But we sat down saying, well, actually, as a parent myself, technology has massively changed. Kaiden, you won't be surprised, but when I was growing up, there were no mobile phones. So do we really understand how they impact young people today? What is the importance of them? How are they used? And we couldn't answer those questions ourselves. So we really wanted to engage with participation people and young people themselves to really understand their point of view. So that was kind of the start of where we came from. And I think there were 3 core elements. One, we wanted to understand how our technology was being used by young people. What do they worry about significantly? And then thirdly, what do they want to see from us as a communications company? What do they think Vodafone's role is and how can we support them? So that was kind of our starting point.
Thank you so much, Kate. That was amazing. So that was Vodafone's side of the story of how it all started. But what about for our young people? What about for you, Kaiden? So how did you first get involved with the project? What caught your interest and what were you hoping to get out of it?
I've been an advocate for rights for years, over many types. I've done stuff to do with violence against women and girls. I've done stuff to do with human rights as a whole. So I feel like as the future comes, technology will be just as important. So I noticed the little email I received and I just pounced on it, as I do with most opportunities.
Going to throw another question at you. Why did you pounce at it? What made you? Because it wasn't just I'm kind of interested, I'll give it a look. It's that pounce, that energy. What really drove that decision for you?
I knew Vodafone was a big name, to say the least, and I saw the fact that I could get involved with such key stakeholders. I decided there's no better time than the present to get involved and to act.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So if you're a young person hearing this, act now. You can definitely make a difference. No matter where you are and what you do, you can make change. But Kaiden, you were actually in the room for one of our in-person workshops, weren't you? What was that experience like from your perspective?
It was interactive, which, I'll be honest, has been part of many youth advisory groups, workshops, councils, senates. It's one of the top ones I've been to. I also distinctly remember lugging a bounce hopper through London out of the end of it. It was very informative, very engaging, and I felt listened to.
Ah, that's the number one goal, isn't it? We want young people to feel listened to. And I hope you still have that space hopper. I hope you're bouncing around from time to time thinking of what a great day it was. But you weren't the only one in the room. Of course, there were many other young people, but we also invited professionals and senior leaders into the room, such as Kate. As a senior leader, what was your take on the day? And have you worked alongside young people like that before?
No, thank you. It was a brilliant day, I have to say. And I think it was set up really well. So we had a number of hackathons in advance. So we had some preparatory work, and I know a number of the young people joined those hackathons. And then we brought it to culmination where we brought everyone together in a single room. It was myself from Vodafone, but a number of my colleagues from all different areas. And I think it was absolutely fantastic. The things for me was it was full of energy. It was really thought-provoking from our side. I learned so much around thinking differently, thinking from a different perspective, not making assumptions, and ultimately it was really good fun as well. I think the other things that were really important was we positioned this as we wanted the young people to be really honest with us. You know, we have different worry points as parents or adults or experiences we've been through. So, you know, we really needed to understand what their concerns were. And they just brought fantastic new ideas to the table that we hadn't thought of.
100% that we always need new perspectives, and what's better than a perspective from the future generations themselves. Another question for you, Kaiden. Have you worked with senior leaders and professionals in that capacity before?
I've definitely worked with leaders before, but it's one of the times I felt the most listened to by them and felt like my input was just as important as theirs.
And Em, maybe can I just jump in? Because I have to say, one of the biggest learnings from me was the young people were absolutely fantastic in their contributions. I mean, they actively engaged, they really brought energy and ideas to the table. And that made such a huge difference to what we got out of it as a business, but hopefully what they got out of the hackathons, the day session as well. So I have to say thank you to everyone that really contributed, because it was really great to see.
I completely echo that as well. Yes, to every young person who was part of this project, whether you were in the in-person sessions or the digital sessions, thank you so, so much. We couldn't have done it without you. So we've talked about how it started. We talked about the sessions themselves and what happened. But now let's look forward. And this is a question for both of you. What do you hope will come out of this work? And we'll start with you, Kaiden.
Firstly, I hope it sets a precipice for more companies to work alongside young people, because I'm not saying we're more qualified, but we're more used to tech. We've grown up around it. And I feel like we need companies to listen to young people to understand how we work.
Exactly that. And you you might not be more qualified at certain things, but I could argue that you are more qualified at being a young person than, people such as myself or Kate, for example. But what about you, Kate? What do you hope will come out of this work?
So essentially, we went into this work wanting to create or to get a view and to create a charter where we were asking young people what would they tell themselves if they were to get their first smartphone. So what would they tell their younger self? I really hope this is something that all young people can trust and that really resonates with them, because effectively it's something that's been developed by their peers. So for one, really a charter that is they can trust and resonates. Secondly, as an adult, I think I really want us to be able to reflect on our own behaviours with the use of smartphones and phones, because a lot of the stuff that comes through the feedback through young people is also really good learning for us. So, as an adult, where we're saying we should manage our screen time, how much time do I spend on it? What sort of example am I setting for young people? So I think that was a really good learning experience for me. Thirdly, I think, the charter itself is something that's just a starting step. So we have developed it with groups in the UK, but actually we've taken it from there now and we've tested it with young people in some of our other countries. So we've taken it to 6 other countries, tested it with young people there to ensure that it resonates with them, because not every country is the same. We have different cultures, we have different experiences, but actually from the feedback we had and what we created, it really resonated with young people in those other countries in the main as well. So effectively we're just tweaking and making some final little tiny amendments, nothing significant, and we really want to launch this on a global stage. So from a Vodafone perspective, this is a youth charter that we can stand behind globally, that's been created by young people for their peers. And then, Kaiden, you're exactly right. This is just the start. This is not a one-off exercise. We as a company have learned so much through this, that this is just the beginning of our engagement with young people as we go forward. Yes, we had a specific task in mind, but now we're coming up with other ideas. How can we ensure that we are testing new products and services and it's delivering for young people as we go forward? Are we delivering products and services responsibly for young people? So there's lots of thoughts and initiatives that we are looking at as we move forward. So like I say, it's the start, and there'll be lots more to come.
And also, a quick note, if you need anyone to, test out products, let me know.
You heard Kaiden. He's available if you need to test things. And I think we can all speak here that Kaiden is very driven. This has now devolved from a podcast into an advert for Kaiden. We just love our young people. Involve young people, please.
Especially me.
So, taking a more general look at things, because we've really delved into the Vodafone project, and rightfully so. It's been so exciting and such a privilege to be a part of, speaking personally and professionally from my point of view. But yes, let's think about youth engagement more broadly now. What would both of you say are the benefits of young people and senior decision makers working side by side? And Kaiden, would you like to go first?
It means our opinions are heard on subjects which will affect us for the longest amount of time. Well, 99% of us for the longest amount of time. So I feel like we need to be heard to make sure we're understood and that these changes and releases will not be too adverse or too detrimental to us.
And what about for you, Kate? What would you say?
Yeah, so for me, I think youth engagement is really important because it removes the assumptions that are made within the decision making. So we can listen and we can learn. And I would especially say that all young people go through their own unique journey depending on when they were born. Technology moves really, really quickly. So someone that is born today is going to have a very different experience of technology in 15, 16 years time that Kaiden has today. And Kaiden has a very different experience, although at one point in time I was a young person, has a very different experience to me. So, each person has their own experience, and it's really important that we listen and we learn.
Absolutely perfect, and so rightfully said. I had a similar conversation with another young person a week or so ago, and I promise this is relevant. I am arguably one of the oldest Gen Z. I'm 8 days into Gen Z. Now, my experience as someone who is Gen Z, and this is just Gen Z, you can, take it so much of a bigger scale, but my experience with everything, particularly technology, is going to be completely different to, Kaiden's experience, or, someone who is more of the younger scale of Gen Z. So it is really important that we do keep all of this in mind and we don't homogenize our point of view. So yeah, you couldn't have said it better, Kate. It was spot on. So we're almost ready to wrap up. I will not take up too much of your time. And I'm just so thankful for the both of you being here. But now let's look forwards. What is next? So Kate, what are the next steps for Vodafone when this Youth Safety Charter is launched?
Yeah, so effectively, we will launch the Youth Safety Charter. We will continue to engage with young people as we move forward. I want the Youth Charter to be a live charter. So as time progresses forward, the topics within that charter may change. As we just said, time evolves, risks change, experiences change. So it needs to be live as we go forward. But then we also need to kind of put into practice our engagement with young people more broadly. So, I touched on it before. How do we ensure that we've got the voice of young people and that we're listening to them throughout our business? So yeah, it's really great to have this opportunity. It's opened our eyes completely, and we really want to embrace it as we move forward.
Incredible and so promising. We can't wait to see all of the exciting updates on the horizon for the Vodafone Group. But what about you, Kaiden? What's next for you, and how will you take this experience forward into your future?
That's a good question. Definitely going to be using that as a prime example of what went well, because everyone needs a bit more decency in the world. Everyone needs to know what's gone well.
And can I just make one more comment as well, just about the future? I think our experience through this process has really elevated youth engagement from our perspective, so that we're also advocating about it as well. So, for example, and I know participation people are now engaged as well, we're looking to work with Global Child Forum so that this is not just, this becomes and grows. It's momentum, a ball that's starting to roll, and we have more youth engagement, not just across Vodafone, but in the industry, and we can start taking those positions to policymakers in products and services, etc., etc. So it continues. It's not solely about Vodafone, but it's really around how we all engage going forward.
Speaking of, there is some not more nationally with I Will, which is called the Power of Youth Charter. If you sign that, it is practically a pledge from your company saying we agree that youth are our future, which near enough is a direct fact. And signing it says you put them at the core of your beliefs and you can use them to the best of your ability and help them prosper.
Kaiden would love to hear more about that. Please share.
But it's to do with I Will, which is UK Youth and Volunteering Matters. It's a charter which is online, which can be signed by a company or by a person, in which stating you put forward and advocate for the power of youth, hence the name of the Power of Youth Charter.
Yeah, that looks really cool. I've just found it online. So we at Participation People, we're very familiar with I Will. It's a great organization. And I will just read out the quick introductory paragraph for those at home, just in case their ears have pricked up and they're like, oh, tell me more, we're interested. Because I can see your ears pricked up as well, Kate. So you're on the edge of your seat. So the Power of Youth Charter is a national initiative designed to recognise, support and champion youth leadership within businesses and organisations to drive positive change. The Power of Youth Charter is not just for youth-focused organisations, it's for every business, charity, public sector body and community organisation across the UK. And if you go into Google and search I Will Power of Youth Charter, you will be able to read more at home. But thank you so much, Kaiden, for telling us about that. That's incredible. We're just about to say goodbye, but before we do either of you have any final comments, thoughts, questions, or anything you would like to share?
Add me on LinkedIn, Kaiden Walsh.
Nothing from you, Kate?
No, I just want to say final words really is, If you have the opportunity as a young person to join and contribute, please do. Your voices are heard. As a business, we have really valued the contribution, and we will embrace this going forward. It's really exciting times, and the opportunity to learn as an adult from young people has both benefited me personally as well as for the business. And I've really valued the learning that I have obtained through this journey. So, thank you to Kaiden, to all of the other young people. And, I'm sure we will be in touch very soon on other opportunities.
Well, thank you so much, the both of you, for your time, your insights, and for being such a key part of this incredible project. I cannot thank you enough. Deeply appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. If you at home want to know more about this work, head over to our website at participationpeople.com and explore the full case study. Or if you want to see the charter yourself, now called our Digital Pact, Your Space, Your Rules, you can head to www.vodafone.com/news or head to the link below. Keep an eye on Vodafone Group's socials to stay updated on the impact and legacy this project has created. The future is looking brighter, bolder, together with young people.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.